Hello, everybody. So now what I'm going to talk about is how much to do any of these suggestions that I've made so far. Again, there's no easy, straightforward answer because everybody is just so different how much of an issue they have with their touch. I'm going to just give you some guidelines and going to ask you to try them out and see how far you get. All right? Okay, so I have said already try and do those things each day. Try and do at least something on touch every day if you can at all manage to do that. Sometimes life just doesn't allow us to do things that we want to do. So if you only end up doing 4 or 5 or 6 times in a week, then that's also good. And I just don't want anybody beating themselves up that they didn't manage to do it every single day. Okay. All right. So trying to do it once a day if we can. And once a day, what does that mean? It means just trying to do some contact. Let's say some contact on the face, some contact on the hands, so maybe a contact somewhere else, and trying out at least something of my suggestions. But it might be super short, all of the things. It might be that you just do a hand stroke like I was showing, and it literally just takes a few seconds. I don't ask people to do these things a certain number of times. It's going to depend on how that is for your child. And if you try it for yourself, you might find, hey, I can still feel that for quite a while after I finish it. So doing some kind of stroking, squeezing, pressing, whatever, and then waiting quite a bit, like 10 seconds maybe afterwards, that can be a useful thing because maybe the person's brain is still processing what you did. Even if your child sort of goes away and they don't stay around, I would let them do that. And I think that style can work better rather than feeling, oh, Paul said this was good, so we should do lots of it and trying to hold your child in place while you do it more often. Okay? All right. So sometimes what can be surprising for people is just how little can make a difference. In other words, I was showing you this stroke and it just said it might just take a few seconds. And, you know, ah, that just might be better than trying to do lots, as I've said, and trying to mentally be fine with that, mentally accept that maybe some really small dose of touch stimulation is exactly what your child needs right now. If they could tolerate more, they probably already would be. So I'm hoping that that makes sense to you and that you're going to be fine about doing something, even if it's just a few seconds. And it might just be you do a few seconds now, and then an hour later you come back and do another few seconds. That's totally fine. Sometimes people are busy, so they do it maybe in morning, do various touch things, and then in the afternoon they do some. That's also fine. Okay, you just try out, see what works for you, what works for your child. Do they seem to like really look like they're taking it in after you've stroked them, or do they run off? And if they want to run off, then I'm saying just allow them to do that. Okay. Um, One key thing here is not to overdo whatever you're trying to do, whatever stimulation you're trying to do for your child, whatever improvements or exercises. I think this applies not just to my work, the neurodevelopmental exercises, but I think in general in life. Not overdoing things because it can start to be unpleasant. We can overwhelm a person's nervous system. Okay. So, I am reminding you that in my other video, I said we want all the contact to be pleasant, and if it's not pleasant, it's at least neutral and acceptable for your child. So at any point you see them start to tense up, if you feel any resistance from them, you see them starting to pull away, I would stop immediately at that point. If that happens a couple of times, let's say a couple of days in a row, they do exactly the same thing. What I would do is try to remember as best you can. How long were you doing it for before you saw the signs that they're resisting and had enough? So imagine that you did 8 seconds, roughly, give or take, right? So then what I would suggest that you do is you say, okay, well, if eight was too much, let me do five, because then probably five they can accept and it's okay. And it's better to keep working daily at 5 seconds on that level. And then maybe in the future, after a month of doing that, you've given the body time to learn and improve from what you're doing. Then you could try a little bit longer on that one day in a month's time and see if now if they can tolerate 8 seconds now. Okay. And then you see where I'm going, right? You can build it up step by step, but so much better than overdoing it. Okay. I'm just trying to work with the child here and work with their body and work with their nervous system rather than do things to them because we think it's for their own good. Okay. All right. Um, okay. I'm Yeah, the other bit I want to say is I'm saying to you that I would give it 2, 3, 4 months of doing these touch suggestions that I've made as regularly as you can. If it can be every day, then that's great. If it can be more than once a day, great. Okay. I'm hoping you've got the patience to do it for 2, 3, 4 months because it's not easy to remember to do it. Life can be full with lots of other details, but neurodevelopment takes this kind of work. What we do is not necessarily very complicated, but I know that it takes something to remember all these things and work on it each day and so on. So I appreciate that it takes something, um, but it also means that I'm saying to you that okay, sometimes you can see results faster than that, and that's really terrific, but that's not so common, and we need to give the nerves time to learn and adjust. Okay, so like don't be surprised if you've done it a month, you've done it every day for a month and you're still not seeing any changes. It might just need a little bit longer than that. Okay, all right. Good luck with all of that. You probably can tell that it's again not just the techniques themselves, but our attitude and our energy that we can bring to it. And I'm going to talk about that on the next video. Thanks very much. Bye bye for now.